on Vancouver Island. So we don't,
Yeah,
this is our first encounter really live, isn't it?
it
Well,
is.
except for the phone call.
Yeah, very excited to connect with you, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy a lot of your content, and I think it's pretty awesome that we're both Canadian and on the same side of the continent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you tell us a little bit about yourself, please?
Okay, sure.
Hey, Carol.
I'm Canadian, and I have on my maternal side, I have Indigenous roots that go back to the east side of Canada, like Prince Edward Island and Nova Scotia, New Brunswick. So it's Métis and Mi'kmaq. And I've had really vivid dreams for my whole life, but I didn't really start studying them until 2009. I was going through a divorce at the time, the end of a 9-year marriage, and I was just having 5 to 7 dreams, like nightmares a night, and I couldn't really do anything else throughout the day except for try to understand what my dreams were. And I came across someone named Richard Hastings, and he started interpreting my dreams. And he had this unique approach where he wasn't just giving me what they meant. He would say, this dream is telling you to do this and this and this. And what he was saying to do were things that I absolutely never would have done before, but it was forcing me to overcome some major fears and to look at some of my own, take responsibility for some mistakes I had made or choices I was making. And my whole life path changed directions at that time. And then my life got better. I felt a lot more peace and there was a lot more fulfillment. And then I kept interpreting my own dreams. And then I found that other people would share, it's very casual in our culture. You could be talking with someone and they'll just say, oh, I had the strangest dream last night. Or, oh, it's a random conversation point. So I would start to just say, oh, you know what that means is this and this and this. And they'd be surprised. Like, how did you know? Like, yeah, that's right on. So, then I just eventually started doing it on my own and started up the TikTok page. And I ran a program in jail. I won't get too much into that. That might be another topic, but I really had a lot. I learned a lot and I felt very, I realized how much dreams can really heal people when I was working with inmates, and they were sharing dreams about their early childhood and trauma that led to them to do the things that led to them being in jail. And I just realized there's something really meaningful in this work and started doing it all the time.
I love dream analogy. I think it's was probably some of the first things that happened to me that made me know that I had some connection to the universe. Thank you, Carol. I think it's for me. I consider myself kind of a priestess or a high priestess in the realms that I've learned and live, and even in learning about what is the high priestess, they all have connected with their dreams. Any women, especially women, I don't know as much about men because I'm not one, but many women have connected to their dream source and not knowingly are literally connecting to spirit.
True.
And you said something that was profound to me the other day, and I told you that on the phone, that you made a reference to, would you just, you know what I'm talking about? Would you say it again? You said it so nicely.
Sure. I was replying to someone's dream in a video, and I said that the creator or spirit is sending you this dream to show you such and such and such. And I was trying to convey the idea that dreams are not just a fraction of our unconscious, but that they come from a source outside of ourselves, whatever we define that source to be.
Right. Would you say that that's in order to get us ready for something coming?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
because dreams exist outside of time and space, and time itself is flexible.
So you would consider that a prophetic experience?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same. Same. Absolutely. And
Mm-hmm.
I've had so many of them. Have you too?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. And what about the people here who are with us? Have you also experienced dreams where they have been prophetic and, came true in some, kind of weird way down the road? Anyone here has experienced that? I think Carol has.
Carol made a comment there.
She's a very in tune woman too. Angelia, yes, good. How many here? How many here have experienced it? No? Okay. Right? It's true. It's so true. There's no time until you open your eyes in the physical, yeah.
That's true.
So let's address why people don't have them. What do you think's going on there, Rachel?
Well, I think that there's a lot of reasons. The two main ones that come to mind are, first of all, our culture, our white North American culture, has drifted away from, as a community, honoring dreams. So I think that, like in the past, people probably remembered it more because, indigenous cultures, they would talk about their dreams when they woke up in the morning and when they're, having their breakfast and starting their day. So it was easy to remember it because as a community, we're talking about it. And then from an individual perspective, if you go with the idea that dreams are coming to us with guidance that will help us to shift our perspective or shift our life or shift our understanding, we have a part of us that sometimes fears that or does it or hesitates. We could call that our ego or our lower self or whatever. I think that people have dreams, but then forget them because the ego wants to sort of forget in order to keep things the same out of fear. So I think that there's an external force that causes us to forget and an internal force that causes us to forget. So the prophetic dreams are coming, but then we don't remember.
I think we're a hurried society.
Yes.
And to add what you're saying, I agree. But the real problem is we have forgotten that before you put your feet on the ground, you need to gather that dream. Yes. Before I even open my eyes, if I want to know more about the dream, I just go, okay, wait, get the dream. And I get the dream in my head and I make sure I get like 2-3 sentences and I remember it. And I mean, I used to have to write everything down. Now I just have to gather the dream and hold on to it when I wake up.
It's a little bit like putting your hand in like moving water and trying to like capture something in your hand and you go, okay, I got it.
Yeah. And then you wake up and it's like, okay. And I've had some pretty profound dreams in my life and many prophetic dreams. And as I've gotten older, I mean, I've been doing this for a really long time. It's not something I just started 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. I've been at this dream analogy probably since I was 9, believe it or not, because it was the very first thing that I ever really felt. And also astral projection when I was 2 or 3, but it was through trauma. Yeah, so that whole dream or this alternative universe has been with me since I can remember. No kidding.
Beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but to remember it, you have to practice. You have to have a book and a pen by your bed. You have to, as soon as you wake up, you got that dream. Now you start writing. And there was a beautiful writer called a book she wrote called The Artist's Way.
I thought you were going to say that.
Yeah, and she speaks about the morning pages, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was profoundly useful.
Everything. When I started doing morning pages with the idea of opening up the dreams to come, you set a timer for 20 minutes and you just write. And she suggests not taking your pen off the paper, or if you're typing, to not remove. And so even if you're just writing, well, here I am, I have nothing left to say, but I'm still writing because I have to write because the timer didn't go off yet. You just keep writing and then poof, the dream shows up.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so true. And it really works.
It really works.
Really, really works.
Yeah.
What does it mean with a reoccurring dream? That's a great question. How about we address that?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, so when someone has a reoccurring dream, it would mean, the way that I approach it is that it means that there was some kind of issue that started at the time that the dream, like if especially, okay, so sorry, I'm talking about two things.
Okay.
A reoccurring dream comes from some unresolved issue, in the most basic way to say it. And then if you look at the dream, you can either understand it's when the dream started in real life and that's when the issue started, or if you're dreaming about a certain time in your life, then that also may be a clue as to when that issue started. And in terms of issues, what I think about that is that, again, the dreams are here giving us inspiration, and issues come from our ego, comes from some kind of block that we have, usually fear, but there's a lot that are there: disappointment, anger, jealousy, guilt, shame, embarrassment. So the dream is trying to help you understand one of those main negative emotions, and how that there's some sort of pattern that is keeping you stuck in that. And then when you can kind of understand that pattern and shift it, there's a really positive quality or skill that you have. You've either inherited it or learned it, or you have the potential for it. So when you shift that issue, your positive quality will be like unlocked or released.
Yeah.
The energy will be opened up.
You
So
know,
the
that makes sense.
dream keeps coming and coming and coming until you look at it and address it.
I had an odd one many years ago about this tea. Looked like a T-bone, right? And it was
Okay.
floating in the air. And in my dream, I could just see this tea floating everywhere, and I could see my hand. That's all I could see in my dream was this tea and my hand.
The
And
letter T?
yeah, the letter T.
Okay, okay.
And I never understood what it was until one day I caught it. I was able to catch it in my dream. I was 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember because I had that dream for 10 years,
Wow.
or over and over and over and over and over. And
Yeah.
I think I figured out what it meant for me.
What did it mean for you?
I think that was when I knew who I was going to be.
Mm.
I think that's when I decided to let go of the trauma Tamare
Right.
and become the healer Tamare.
Mm.
And I think it's when I figured myself out. I grabbed the tea.
Right.
I was able to get a grip of who the hell I am. The
Right.
teacher, right?
Oh,
The tarot.
absolutely.
Because I'm a freak for tarot.
Yeah.
And that's my thing, right? So
Right.
whatever, the tea really, I think because my name is Tamara, to me, it was more getting a hold of myself, reaching out and getting a grip of me.
Right.
And I never had that dream again from there on. Honestly, Rachel, never, not even one time.
That's amazing. Well, you definitely figured it out.
I'm sure I did, because it worked. It worked for me.
Right.
So, sometimes I think these kinds of dreams are meant to push us and elevate us into the spot that we're supposed to be in, or the seat we're supposed to sit in.
I
right?
agree. Yep.
And, I hadn't actually fully come to where I am now at 26, but I was able to shake away the old.
Yeah. And the thing that I could add to it is that since the T was in the air, so you're dealing with air energy, and that would be about having like a positive vision of the future. So air is about envisioning and having a lot of creativity. And so I think that when you grabbed onto that T from the air, you were able to envision now a new self for yourself. It might have taken you years to get there, but you got who you could be potentially.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually when I started, probably when I took all of this realm way more seriously, because up until then I was traumatized by my life and was dabbling in using drugs, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And and sexual abuse. So those kinds of things together sort of enabled me to be who I am now. I had to deal with that. So it was then that I realized what I had to do, and I had already started, but it wasn't until then that I knew that
Yeah.
it had to happen and then go forward. So I agree with you. You know, that trauma stuff is all there, those things that you got to work with. But for
Yeah.
me, catching the tea was like this weird magical experience that I also had. And so can you adjust your life by doing something in the dream?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I think it probably played in. You might have been already making positive actions in your regular life or your day to day life, and then it showed up in the dream, and then the dream reinforced what you were already doing. So it kind of, the positive dream, gave you a little bit of inspiration and a boost.
Yeah.
Like I always say that one of the reasons on my channel I focus so much on the negative dreams is because the positive dreams don't really need you don't need any work. Like the positive dreams are there to sort of show you what you're already doing well. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep tapping into that positive energy that was there in the dream and just keep moving forward. It's the negative dreams that show us where we're stuck. And so that's why so do you want me to share one of my dreams that I've never shared it with anyone else actually. I got my own understanding of it, and then but since you have some insight, yeah, I would welcome your feedback. So this one was I also have a path like that where there was trauma and abuse, and I went through drug use, and my late teens I was quite on quite a sideways path, I'll say. And I had a near-death experience, and that sort of grounded me back into life. And then I had this really fascinating dream that still really sticks with me. So in the dream, I'm in an ocean, and then a large okra, I always say it wrong, okra whale comes by, and it communicates telepathically to grab on, to hang on to the fin. So I hang on to this fin of this enormous whale, and it goes on. I'm thinking, okay, sure, we're gonna like glide across it's gonna pull me across the surface, but it dives deep into the water. So for a minute, it's fun and exciting, and then all of a sudden, I'm realizing I need to breathe. Like I'm gonna die in a second here. Like, why are we not going back to the surface? And I was trying to communicate to it like, no, I'm not a whale. Like I need to go back home. I need to breathe. And it just said, then breathe. And what can you do when you need to gasp for air, right? So I take a breath, and then suddenly I realize I can breathe underwater. And so then there was just this feeling of like, kind of almost like bliss or something, where it's just like, oh, wow. So then we just kept going deeper and deeper and faster. And then there's all this like this stuff going by, maybe like plankton or little fish or whatever, right? Buzzing by. It's complete black, and all these little things speeding by. And then the environment sort of shifts, and now it's like we're in the universe, like we're in space, and the things going by are now stars, and I'm just like skyrocketing through the space. So there you go.
I have so many things to share. What do you think it means?
So many. I can imagine.
I have so much to share. It's unreal. What a great dream. Tell me what you got out of it.
Thank you for inviting me to share that. Yeah.
Will you tell me what you think it means for you? What do you think it's meant for you over the years?
Well, prior to that, I had really been like, I kept dolphin energy really close to me. And that was sort of like when you talk about spirit guide or something like that, it helped me through a lot. And the big shift that happened at that point was the dream kind of said to me, like, you're bigger than a dolphin. Like, this is bigger than just playful dolphin energy. You need to think of like a bigger role for yourself, or like taking up more space. So that was the first shift. And water is the ocean is about life, and it's about relationships and being able to go really into the depths of relationships and emotions. I can look back now and see that is like that's the path that I go on, whether it's sharing dreams or in the work I do with homeless people. Like I can really go into the depths of people's darkness and be with them in that dark space, and come out to a brighter side. The mystery part, the magical part, which I find really interesting, is I never knew that there was this sort of group of people that believe like the ocean is above us and space is below us, and there's land in the ocean. Like this idea of like, well, where are we? Like where, I didn't know that was a thing when I was 20 and had that dream. But I know some people would look at that dream and feel like, oh yeah, you broke through the firmament or something. Like people would put those kind of concepts. I think the big message I get from it is just, at the time I felt I had no potential, I had no worth, and I had no purpose. And zooming through into outer space where it felt like there's infinite possibilities. And in terms of, healing my trauma was like, that was the beginning of me going, oh, could it be possible my life can be better than what I'm thinking it would be now?
Oh, Rachel, absolutely. Yeah. I would have seen, just in case you didn't know, but the orca, you say okra.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I always get it. That's my
okra is a green vegetable.
It's not a vegetable. Oh, it's so embarrassing.
Just remember or. And the reason why you can remember it now is because the orca is a whale that keeps our messages, it's the record keeper. Okay? It records the life that we lived. It records time. It records the ancestors' ways, the ancient ways. And because it's a mammal that lives in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Like the big little turtles. They're also sort of the same energy. Anything that lives a long time like that. And this mammal is the oldest. Right? The whale.
Okay.
So that tells me that you are going to, and the diving deep into the water is that you are going to understand emotion and understand the relevance of it in terms of people, and being able to give it to the people. Because let's remember also the whales are typically quite passive with us. Some are eaters. Okay, yes. Some are going to eat us up and do the Pinocchio thing, spit us out at the end of the day, right? But for the most part, I think they just go on their way, do their own things. And that's why they're, like you, witnessing the world, witnessing what things mean in that emotional world, because in our emotional world, we're intimately involved.
That's right.
We're intimate with that emotion. We're getting inside that emotion. And I think the reason it's flung to the space is to show you exactly what you said, the infinite possibilities, and to rise above the present perimeters of emotion and see it as the bigger picture, the ego, energetically being able to see sources understanding.
Right.
Not just, see, the emotional, the water part is listening to us.
Right.
But the space part is you asking spirit for the meaning.
Okay.
Right? And it's showing me that you're connected to both. Right? And that was your initiation, let's say.
Definitely.
That's just like me catching the tea, my initiation.
That makes sense, because I had just decided, probably within 3 months of that dream, that I was putting all the drugs, like I went clean, and no more alcohol, no more smoking, no more drugs, no more, right? No more abusive boyfriends.
That's exactly when I made that decision. It was in that time that I just went, no.
Yeah.
No more. Isn't that something, eh?
Yeah, I'm getting goosebumps. It's so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
some wonderful supporters in here.
Okay.
ASF is she's a member. Usually, I give her a reading
Good.
when she comes along, and she's been adding her 2 cents in there. And my friend Carol. But I would like to say thank you very much, Nana, for your Nina, for your comments. Um, I am sure that you're happy to maybe do a couple of interpretations for some of our guests.
Sure, of course.
Does anyone here have something they would like to ask? I mean, you're going to have to say it. Do your best to say it as many words as you need, but keep it shallow if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while we're waiting for that, I will tell you that I was told that I could not have children,
Mm.
but I dreamt I was going to have a blonde, blue-eyed boy,
Oh, wow.
and I had the dream so strong I knew it was going to be true. So I
Oh,
bought myself a little dolly, a little boy dolly, and he had all his parts, and he had little blue eyes, and I put him on my dresser, and
right.
I looked at him every night when I went to bed, and I was told that I couldn't have children at 21, and I gave birth at 32.
That's incredible. That's beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
your dreams have definitely been a big part of your life, haven't they?
Oh, it kept me alive. I tell you
Yeah.
that for real, because I really listened to spirit. I did think that was my sort of the switchboard operator to me and creator. You know what I mean? I always did. Let's see here. Why is my dead husband in my dreams all the time? What a great question.
Hmm.
Go for it, Rachel.
Okay. Um, well, as I'm answering that first question, if you don't mind sharing, maybe one of the dreams that you've had with him specifically, so I could answer more specifics. But you know, there's two ways to take a dream. There's the literal and the metaphorical, or metaphoric. So I think if you look at the possibility that your husband is, connecting with you through your dreams, to convey certain messages, to whether to give you comfort, to give you encouragement, to give you support, that would absolutely be accurate. And so he continues to show up because he wants you to realize that he's not apart from you, he's not away from you, he's right there, right close. I don't know what your beliefs are about that, but if you're still feeling like grief or loss, the dreams probably keep coming to show you that you haven't really lost anything and you've just gained a new type of way of connecting with him. And then the other thing, the metaphoric side, which is kind of unique to the way that I do dream interpretation, but you've probably seen this, Tamare. That I talk about how when our loved ones that have passed away show up in our dreams, often there's a quality that they're really, really good at. And them showing up in the dream is to help you to stay connected to that quality or to develop that quality more within yourself. So, for example, my grandmother was a very loving, warm, playful person, and she loved to cook. And so when she was cooking, like that was when she was her happiest. On the negative side, she was an alcoholic. But when she was cooking a meal for her family, she didn't have to drink. She could just be happy in preparing the meal and dancing in the kitchen and having a lot of joy. So when I dream of her, often it's to remind me to have that joy, to cook a meal and connect with loved ones and have that joy that she showed me in her life. So your husband might have some really strong qualities the things you admired and loved about him, and they might be showing up to kind of encourage you to bring out those positives in yourself.
She
That
said
will,
that I'm sorry for interrupting, but she did say that he's often in his truck.
oh, in his truck. So, did he? I mean, I just have questions. Like, was it a work truck or was it his personal truck? But trucks and vehicles are about how to get from point A to point B in your life. And so if you're dreaming of him in his truck, it's sort of like saying, the way that he was determined and the way that he achieved his goals is the way he wants to encourage you to keep moving towards your goals too, to not give up on yourself, and to not get stuck in losing your direction in life.
I just found this on live on the TikTok on my computer. I've been trying to figure out how to do it, and I just figured it out.
Did you? Okay, cool.
Uh-oh. I've been trying to figure out how to do it, and I just figured it out. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. That's awesome.
It is awesome. Because now I can just, I want to see, I'm trying to figure out everything because there's so much to understand with using TikTok. But anyway, so would you say the truck thing also to me, it's like, this is what I got. I think that some of Mulholland's fears about managing life on their own is being presented here.
Yes.
And that this is why the husband keeps showing up, because she's afraid she can't manage well on her own.
Right.
So he's showing up with his truck saying, don't worry, honey. I got the truck. Whatever big issues you got going on, I got your back.
Yes. See, that's what I was saying without saying it. We talked about how I do that and you do that.
I just go right in, bam. Here it is.
Well, that's what we did.
Yeah. So that's what I think is happening there. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and that's because truck is about power, right?
Oh yeah.
Like vehicles. Can you kind of tell them why I said that? Because you know where I'm coming from exactly.
Yeah, so every mode of transportation in a dream talks about the way we move through our life. So a car, if you think about with a car, you have a lot of choices and options and speeds, and you can change directions, you can go back and forward. So, and also cars are like how we get from point A to point B on a short-term basis. And so if you think of, for example, a plane, that's about your long distance goals. If you think about a boat in a dream, that's about your traveling in your relationships. If you think about a train, that's about, like, trains are often show up if there's one specific path that's the best path for you to take. Like when you get on a train, you don't have all those choices you have in a car. You sit there.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, you sit there until you arrive at your destination. Yeah. So when you're dreaming about a truck, it's just like a car, but magnified. So you've got all that extra power, and like you were saying, you can carry so much more, right? You've got that 4x4 in the back where you can like load it all up. Like I can carry a heavy load here.
Yeah. I'm just looking at a couple of the other, that's why I thought that. Thank you for making that clear. Okay, here's another one. ASF says, I have prophetic dreams many times, but they scare me. And I see myself running away from it. What can we tell her? And she says, due to family ties and their religious practices. She thinks that's why she's afraid.
Okay, so one thing is, the way that I look at it is that all dreams exist out of time and space. So potentially every single dream could be prophetic. Like every single dream potentially is showing us something that could happen. Mm-hmm. The ones where you feel it and you go, oh my gosh, like the car accidents are strong, or pregnancies, death, those kind of really big life events. What I would just encourage people to do is hold that space for that possible literal translation, but put it aside for 1 second. And as you put that aside, give some energy to the metaphor. And when you're looking at the metaphors, when you can start to understand your fears and what is showing up in that dream. And so anytime I see someone running away from anything in a dream, that's the key. So it doesn't matter what it is you're running away from. The fact is that there's a fear and you've got that flight response. And when you can understand what it is you're exactly afraid of and what the emotion you need, the quality you need is courage. So you would ask yourself, if I had more courage in this specific situation, how would I do things differently? And see if you can imagine some different scenarios. And the key is to start trying them out. Like imagine yourself doing something with courage instead of fear, and then take a small step towards it and see how different the outcome is. Because like I said at the beginning, time is flexible to it. Some people, that's a whole nother topic in itself, but the way I look at it is time is flexible. As soon as you make a shift, as soon as you do something differently than you would have, you're going to change the future. Because now you're doing something different, you've created a new possibility for a new outcome. It's kind of like the butterfly effect, when it's like one small flutter of a wing in the east can create a hurricane in the west. When you do one small thing differently that day, your future is now different. So maybe that prophetic negative scenario really truly was on your path, but because you did something differently now, it's no longer going to be on your path anymore.
Sort of like shifting the timeline.
Shifting timelines. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the way you're looking at that. What would you say about flying in a dream? Like, I was really good at that in my dream. I could call it out. Yeah. I said, okay, get, lift, to the point where I wake up in the morning thinking I could really do it because I did it so often in my dream.
Right.
But there was always something around me that made me fly. Now, I think I know why, but I'm really curious what you think.
Is that since you were young, or is that when you were older, since you were young?
No, that's when I was younger. It was probably all under 30.
Yeah.
All under 26.
Right. So again, you can take the literal interpretation of that and this idea of like astral projection and, that literal concept, and that's true. But then we're going to put that aside for a second. And the metaphoric way of looking at that would be having the ability to really transcend all of the material plane, so much so that you don't even feel like you're in your body anymore, or that you're bringing your body above above the conflict and the tension and the drama of the physical realm. You have the ability to transcend it.
Yep.
And you did
it's true.
You did it consciously. Yeah.
Yep. And I would actually go to sleep saying, I need to have a flying dream tonight.
Oh, wow.
And I could actually go from, okay, I wanted to find out if a boyfriend was fooling around on me. So when I went to sleep, I asked it before I fell asleep if I could have a dream to watch what he was doing, and I did.
Really?
I did. Where? And the next day or two, I ran into him or whatever, I can't remember, and I told him what I thought he was doing. You should have seen this.
Yeah.
If you were sitting there, you'd know I caught him.
Yeah.
I really caught him. But I have really been very connected to my dream times my whole life. And I think it's because I had so much trauma and nowhere to go with it. I mean, not that my mother caused the trauma. It was my father that caused the trauma. But my mother was traumatized at the same time. So she couldn't respond to my trauma.
Right.
Right? So I was inside my trauma. And it was very, very, very difficult. So I really think that's what turned on my psychic skills. Yeah. Which turned on, came on first through my dreams.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm with you 100%. And the more that you talk, the more I realize we have in common. And I hope we have a lot of more opportunities to connect and share on lives, because I think there's a lot of neat chemistry here.
I see it. I know it. Yeah. That's why And that's why we became friends online. And there wasn't even any reservation
Mm.
at all. It was just this, oh, sister,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Yeah. I'm really happy to know you.
Me
A
too.
couple of other things I'm wondering about with dreams. Um, Healing, in the healing aspect of dreaming, what do you think? How do I put that? How do I put that? Can you give me an example of a really good healing dream?
Yes. For me personally or for someone else?
Just in general, like what can some people said, I heard somebody, I think ASF said, what's the difference between a negative dream and a positive dream? For me, it would
Oh.
be, what would be the difference between a prophetic dream and a healing dream?
Oh. Okay. Okay, so the first of all, like the main difference between a positive dream and a negative dream is the way you feel.
Yep.
Because imagine, even if so the scenario itself is quite neutral. You dream that you're in an air balloon. Yeah, are you feeling afraid and terrified and you're panicking and how am I going to get down? Or are you feeling excited and elated and directing the balloon? The scenario is the same, but the way you're feeling about it is different. And then that would create it's positive or negative. Okay. And then, so when you talk about a healing dream, all dreams have the potential to be healing, but I'm going to be specific and I'll share more about myself. Since you said you'd like to hear some of my dreams, one of my most healing dreams, and people will, I can't believe I'm going to share this. But
I seem to get stuff out of people.
yeah, you do. Okay, so and Matthew Perry, like our beloved Matthew Perry from Friends, right? Was quite he was so open about his trauma and his addiction struggles, and he just recently passed away. But years ago, I had a dream about him, and I was in a hospital, and he was the doctor, and he was laughing a lot, and he was giving me this sort of prescription for how to heal, how to get better. And in the dream, I kind of didn't think it was possible. I was still dealing with some negative people in my life, in real life. So I again went through a feeling of hopelessness. And that the reason that dream was healing for me when I did the interpretation work is that I realized that, and I was in a hospital in the dream, right? So that was the context of healing. That's how I knew to focus on the healing aspect. There were still things I was lying to myself about in real life, or those little, like what they call like small, like white lies, when you just sort of say something because you don't really want to get to the truth, or the way we are in society, you just sort of blanket over things. So I was lying to myself. I was engaging in that society norm. And what I realized is that my character, Matthew Perry plays a character, Chandler. My character needed to be healed. So I needed to get closer to my own truth and my own authenticity. And as I did that, I healed those part of myself, the part of myself that I was lying to myself about. I hope that makes sense. Like, it's kind of layered, but that was a very healing dream for me. That it helped me to look at my own flaws or my own challenges and get closer to my authenticity. And
Yep.
then I'm not playing a role anymore in my life. Yeah.
What about when have you ever woke up crying?
I wake, you know what it is? I don't necessarily, I go to sleep crying a lot. When I wake up, it's not a crying. I wake up with so much like despair. It's almost like beyond crying. And sometimes it would take me like 2 hours of meditation and stretching and reflecting and music and like to get myself from that deficit to back to neutral. Yeah, but I can relate to waking up feeling that sadness.
So if I
Definitely.
told you I have woken up crying, deep crying, I've
Mm.
woken up laughing,
Hmm.
I have awakened singing,
Yes. Oh, that's the beautiful one, right?
singing.
Do songs come to your mind? Do you wake up with like songs and poetry and
Oh my God, I have, and
um,
I have. But the crying one, the crying, for me, I think, I mean, I have thoughts, but what do you think?
I think your thoughts are the most important ones when in relation to your own dream.
I just want to know what you think because I think
Well,
you're so
I'll
smart.
I'll give you some. My feedback would be, especially because of where you are right now in terms of your path as a healer and how many people you're connecting with. I would suspect you're tapping into the collective sadness,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that you're actually like transmuting and you're kind of crying the tears that other people can't cry.
You know, you don't even know how much that hit me when you said that
Okay.
because I honestly, like, even with, I was telling you about all the fighting on Witch Talk and that people don't understand how much it affects me. And it doesn't mean that I have to know everybody. I don't.
Right.
Like I feel defeated as a magical person that there'll always be this nonsense
Right.
instead of us being, you know, sisters and brothers and what we really should be doing. Like even I don't see the division in color, for instance, in people. I don't see the division of culture and myself. I don't. And I don't understand how the universe does.
Right.
So it does affect me in a very big way. And I don't know how to transmute it.
Mm.
So I think when I get full, that's what happens.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And now that I'm older, I don't cry as much in my dream time, but I can't watch a sad movie without
Yeah.
crying. And that's a new thing in the last 10 years. So
Yeah.
maybe I've switched it up.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And all I would do is just honor you for those tears. Like whenever they come for whatever reason, it's just to accept them and allow it and just give permission. Sometimes there's not even a rational thought that goes with the emotion. It's just there and it's okay.
Yeah.
To give you some encouragement in terms of what's on the other side of all those tears would be like the opposite of sadness is sort of getting to that state of upliftedness, right? So like sadness tends to make us just feel down and low, and it means that your spirit is trying to get you to even higher states than you're already at. But it's through the tears that you're going to get to that particular one.
Yeah. Maybe so, but I've always been a person who never liked to cry.
Oh well, there.
I've
If you
always
never
been, I never, oh,
you never like to cry, so then it sneaks out when you don't mean it to.
yeah, I'm not, I think because I was taught that tears represented weakness and weakness represents vulnerability. And vulnerability means that the predator will find you.
Oh,
So
interesting.
it's really connected to that for me. And I know that. I mean,
Right.
I'm not a young woman. I'm older now. So I've really had the opportunity to, restore those memories and review them and
Mm-hmm.
find truth in that experience. And so I have seriously reviewed myself,
Mm.
and my experiences. And I believe that um, it's helped me really understand folks, and this is probably why I'm not very judgy.
Right.
And I'm not a judgy person. Like you can tell me you're a sex worker, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's the same with the work I do with the homeless.
Yeah,
You just accept people who they are where they're at and
yeah,
not
like,
any of
okay.
it.
It doesn't
Right?
mean that I can do it for me,
Right.
but my reasons may be more vain than I'd like to admit.
Mm,
I don't have the best body, in
right,
my opinion.
right.
You understand what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm not necessarily not doing it because I'm above it. I'm
right.
probably not doing it because I feel underqualified. So I have different
Oh,
understandings of things. You know,
sure,
I
sure.
don't judge things harshly. I try to remain as humble as I can be, so that I don't know. I just think it puts us in a whole different realm if we try to keep that humility. It doesn't mean that I don't see my value.
Right.
You know, I see my value. Check my prices out for reading.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
I don't do it for entertainment purposes, though.
Right.
I'm not doing it for that. I do it for true healing, and I have lots of things behind me to make me feel confident in doing the work. Dream
Absolutely.
analogy to me is part of my work, is part of the work, because so much of our subconscious is playing out in that dream field.
Absolutely.
So little of us folks recognize our
Hmm.
stuff or are willing to own it.
Right.
And so people like you who bring these, you know, this awareness to dream interpretation, I think are actually stepping into helping those people heal. Like, this is why I said to you, you know, this, what you're doing is healing work. And I love to see you doing it. And I want to support that. You know, I don't think a lot of people realize how important the dreams are.
I think you're right. And I can't tell you how grateful I am for your support, like here today, but then also just your comments and your feedback on my videos and interacting with people on my channel. And it really means a lot to me. And I thank you for giving that boost to something that's a little bit unknown or still
But is
a
it? Do
belief.
you know it's the very first divination thing we ever did in the entire world?
Well, I believe that, and I
The
and
first.
I and I hope we circle back around to it where people really honor the role of.
500 CD, I think it is. There's a proof of it in some ledgers, and a lot of the gospels that were written because they dreamt it.
Right. It's there. It is there. You just have to find it and believe
But
it.
every culture, Rachel,
Every
Greek,
culture.
Israel, Japan,
Yeah.
China. I mean, and in fact, the colonial countries are the ones that didn't do it. This particular country is new to it, but the
I
natives that
know.
were here did it.
They sure did. Yeah.
I mean, I think all indigenous people
Hmm.
native to their land
Hmm.
have looked at what that dream meant and what the stars are saying. And this colonial belief that this didn't matter, don't listen to your dreams, don't listen to that nonsense. Go and pay the
Right.
pastor 10% of your paycheck and
Right.
listen to him.
Right.
Where we kind of went wrong, I
I know.
think.
Like what your someone here is saying back home. We call it voodoo, right? Like it's still in that realm of mysticism and skepticism
Yeah.
sometimes. Yeah,
But that's because of colonialism. Make no mistake.
absolutely.
This is the oldest divination tool in the entire world and covered by every single culture.
Absolutely.
So we're just reviving it, my lady.
Yes, we are.
So we're
I
brave.
see a familiar face down here. I just want to say hi to Claw and thanks for joining in. He said he might try.
Oh, good. Hello. Yeah, it's nice that a couple of your friends have come along. That's great.
It is. And I wish we had more time. I think we had talked about sort of doing about an hour. And
Yep.
I do need to be somewhere. I work actually in about 20 minutes. So
Oh, good.
I'm going to
I'm
have to
so
get going
thankful
soon.
to sit with you, my friend. So thankful to sit with you.
Me too, very much. And
Let's let's do it again.
I would love that. Very
Okay.
much so.
All right. See you soon. Take good care, huh?
Okay, you
Bye
too.
bye. Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.